Commander replay. Can the hype of Lyra Dawnbringer stand up to the raw power of Ishai, Thrasios, Damia, and Multani? Find out next as Dominaria Week continues. Welcome back, everyone. Dominaria Week, playing some Lyra Dawnbringer, Angel Tribal. Let's do it. So, opening hand, we kept a Myriad Landscape and a Windswept Heath. A little bit light on lands, but we do have this Myriad Landscape. We just need to find one more land just to make sure that we're all right. We do have a lot of ways to search for lands in this deck, so that will be nice. But we'll lay down the Myriad Landscape since it comes in tapped and pass the turn. So as I mentioned, we're playing Lyra Dawnbringer, 3 white for a 5/5 flying first strike lifelink. Other angels you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. This is a commander that I've been pretty excited about, and it seems like a lot of you guys have too, because when I did the Lyra Dawnbringer video a week or two ago, it's been one of the most viewed videos on this channel, so I think a lot of people are excited for Lyra Dawnbringer. And she does look really cool, but the one knock against her has been that she is mono-colored, and mono-white decks tend to be just a little bit behind what every other color combination can do in Commander. We draw an Expedition map. Okay, that means that we can make our next land drop, which is really good. Play the Windswept Heath, play the Expedition map, and hopefully we can draw land next turn as well. We'll crack the Windswept Heath right now, get a Mistveil Plains. So the reason I'm running fetch lands in a monocolor deck is I'm running both Crucible of Worlds, and these fetch lands can get Mistveil Plains into play for us. And the Mistveil Plains works nicely with our Equipment Tutors, Enlightened Tutor, and Planar Bridge, in case we need to put something from our graveyard back into our library so we can tutor it out. So let's take a look at what our opponents are playing. We have a Thrasios Triton Hero partnered with Ishai Ojutai Dragon Speaker. Thrasios is green-blue, 1/3, pay 4, scry 1. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, otherwise draw a card. And Ishai is 2 white-blue for a 1/1, flying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Ishai Ojutai Dragon Speaker. Thrasios is actually a really problematic commander because it's really easy to generate infinite mana, and once you do that, you basically get to play your entire deck. I've seen Thrasios in some really powerful decks, so we'll have to be a little bit wary about what the partnered opponent has going on. Next up, we have a Damia Sage of Stone, is 4 green, black, blue for a 4/4 Death Touch. Skip your draw step. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Very good commander. A little bit slow, but once they get into the late game, they're going to draw a ton of cards, and Damia decks are usually filled with removal. So, another pretty good commander. Got a couple commanders that make me nervous out here. And then finally, we have Multani Yamavaya's Avatar, new card out of Dominaria. 4 green for a 0/0, has Reach and Trample. It gets +1/+1 for each land card you control and each land card in your graveyard. Pay 2, return 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. Return Multani from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting commander, not something that I'm super aware of because I'm still figuring out all the cards in Dominaria. But we'll see what they're capable of this game. Reach is a very relevant ability against us as well, since almost all of our creatures have flying. That can be a little bit annoying for us. We're going to crack this Expedition map, go find our Ameria, the Sky Ruin. Grab our Ameria, play our Ameria, and pass the turn. Really like to catch a land off the top, or a Tithe. We have a lot of things that can find us land. We have Land Tax, Tithe, Gift of Estates, Oath of Lieges. Even a Burnished Heart wouldn't be that bad. We could also use a Scroll Rack to find a way into some lands, so we do have plenty of options of how to find more lands. I ended up with 38 lands in this deck, and I really wanted 39 or 40. Ooh, so Luxon on Warhammer coming down for the partnered opponent, and the Multani opponent just going to shoot it with a Naturalize right away. Elfish Visionary for our opponent. You can get to draw a card. Wall of Blossoms for the Damia opponent. Get to draw another card. Panharmonicon. Good card. We did not catch a land right there. Things are about to get awkward for us. We could crack and use the Myriad Landscape. Yeah, that seems like the best bet right here. We are going to have to discard the Hand Size right here, which is not the best, but we have an Ameria Shepherd already, so not too worried about it. We'll put the Angel of Serenity in there. That way we can use the Ameria Shepherd later to pull it out. We do have a Reanimation sub-theme going on in this deck, so not too scary for us to be putting creatures in the graveyard. We have 5 or 6 ways to pull them out of the graveyard, and we've already got one in hand, so I like that. So we have this Enlightened Tutor. What I'm going to do is grab our Crucible of Worlds so that we can keep making our land drops without having to worry about it. Zombie Infestation. Oh, that's actually a funny card in the Damia deck since you can just draw a million cards, make a ton of zombies. Oh, that's fun. But opponent has a Gilded Lotus down, which means that they can cast Damia next turn, and that's a little bit scary because no one else really has their board developed quite that well yet. This Archangel of Tides will give us a little bit of protection in that they won't be able to just send a massive amount of things into us right away, but Explosive Vegetation for the Multani opponent. Yep, sounds good. Back to our turn, so fire off this Enlightened Tutor. Get our Crucible of Worlds. Play the Crucible of Worlds. And I like the Myriad Landscape right here, since, yeah, we could cast the Windswept Heath and cast Seal Shaper's Gift, but if we get a chance to crack this Myriad Landscape again, then we'll be in pretty good shape land-wise, and also very close to our Ameria. The one thing I am worried about is that Damia usually runs tons of removal, so I fully expect this Crucible of Worlds will probably get blown up sooner rather than later. At least for this turn, they'll probably just try to cast their commander. Rhystic Study coming down for the partnered opponent. The Damia opponent's going to swing in for 1 at the partnered opponent. And passes with all their mana open. That's not suspicious in any way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that could be a Cyclonic Rift. Oh, that would be so not amazing if it were. Woodborn Behemoth. When you control 8 or more lands, it gets +4/+4 and has trample. Interesting. Makes sense in a Land Matters deck. Opponent decides to pay for the Rhystic Study. So our turn, we draw into a Plains. So we'll play the Plains. Actually, what are we going to do this turn? I'm kind of worried about a Cyclonic Rift, although it doesn't make a ton of sense right here. What could opponent have that? Nah, I guess we get a creature. I think we should get a creature into play, actually. Or we just keep cracking this Myriad Landscape and get way ahead on lands. I kind of like that idea. Yeah, let's crack the Myriad Landscape one more time. I know it's the slow plan, but that's really going to get a ton of lands going for us. So get 2 more planes, recast the Myriad Landscape, and then we'll just play this Brave the Sands. No room to pay for the Rhystic Study. Oh, Teferi Mage of Zalfir coming down. Creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield have flash. Each opponent can cast spells only anytime they can cast a sorcery. Yeah, alright, that makes sense. That does make sense. No on the Rhystic Study. Hoping the partnered opponent has some answers. They're Bant colored, so Bant decks usually have a fair amount of removal in them. Oracle of Moldiah for the Bant opponent, and showing a Sphinx's Revelation on top of their deck. They're almost certainly playing a big mana deck, and Sphinx's Revelation in a big mana deck is a pretty good card. Wouldn't mind seeing one of our board wipes. There's already some things on the board I don't like, including this Teferi and this Oracle of Moldiah. Ooh, the Woodborn Behemoth's got its +4/+4, so it is a valid attacker. Hunting Wilds for the Damia opponent. Opponent's going to send the 1/1 into us, and the Teferi at the partnered opponent. No blocks. Opponent's going to send the 8/8 trample into us. That's unfortunate. Boom, we go down to 29. Luckily, we have life gain in our deck, so we just need to get some of the life gain going, and life will be pretty good. We draw into a Plains. Actually, I was hoping for something else right there. So what I want to do, no one has any strip mines out yet. Not saying they can't find one, but they don't have them yet. So we are 2 planes away from making this Ameria the Sky Ruin active. We have 4 right there, a 5 right there. If we crack the Myriad Landscape one more time, Ameria will be active next turn. And I like the free value that'll start getting us, especially with the Angel of Serenity. So we're going to crack the Myriad Landscape one more time. We have 7 cards in hand. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to play the Myriad Landscape again, because why not? And then I'm going to cast the Archangel of Tithes. And that'll give us a little bit of protection. It'll be at least a little bit annoying for opponents to have to attack into us. And we have no mana left for the Rhystic Study, so opponent will get to draw again. Now showing a Kozilek on top of their deck. Ugh. Really hope they... Oh, there's a land. Yeah, Oracle of Moldiah is really powerful. There's another land. So getting the value off of Oracle. They have a Kozilek in hand. Rift Sweeper. Interesting card. Oh, Devastation Tide. Well, we've only got 3 permanents in play that Devastation Tide is going to hit, so that's not the worst. It should slow down Damia a little bit. Having to recast the Gilded Lotus is not the best. So we actually kind of lucked out a little bit right there that we've mostly been screwing around with our Crucible of Worlds and our Myriad Landscape. And I actually have plans to just keep doing that. Sylvan Library for the partnered opponent. So now the bad news is that that's probably exactly what this deck is trying to do, to slow the game down until they find their combo piece. They actually discard their Kozilek, so they're going to shuffle that away. That's fine. I'd rather not have to worry about that Kozilek. Gilded Lotus coming back down for the Damia. Sky Shroud claim. Wall of Blossoms. Elvish Visionary coming back to play. Karn, Scion of Urza coming down. New Planeswalker out of Dominaria. 4 mana, comes in with 5 loyalty. +1, reveal the top 2 cards of your library. An opponent chooses one of them, put that card in your hand, and exile the other with a silver counter on it. -1, put a card you own with a silver counter on it from exile into your hand. And then the negative, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Interesting. I don't really know how to evaluate that thing. Seems pretty good. Seems like it can do some stuff. So we've got a Sword of the Animist in exile. Also pretty good in a Lands Matter deck. Man. I'm actually going to say no on this Emeria the Sky Rune. I've been thinking about it for a while, and there's not really enough value on the board to use this right now, so we're going to say no. There's a Thran Dynamo. Thran Dynamo is nice. So I'm going to play a Plains, cast the Thran Dynamo, cast our commander. So Lyra Dawnbringer coming into play. Then we're going to cast the Archangel of Tithes. Ooh, we have the Archangel of Tithes Brave the Sands combo going, which means that we can attack with our Archangel of Tithes and still get the Ghostly Prison effect out of it. So we get down to 7 cards in hand, and now we have 2 creatures into play, and so things aren't looking too bad. Plus that taxing effect should slow someone down. The green opponent can attack into us if they want to, but hopefully the mana cost will discourage them from doing that. Also, they really should probably be focusing down any of the 2 multicolored opponents. Those decks have the ability to do some crazy stuff. One of the good things right now is that after the Devastation Tide, because that puts a bunch of things back into everyone's hand, for the most part, everyone's going to tap out their mana on their turn trying to recast everything, which means that they probably won't leave very much counter magic up. And I would actually be very happy next turn if we can get down Duelist Heritage and Steel Shaper's Gift for a Mask of Memory and Double Strike something to draw some additional cards with the Double Strike. I think that would be a pretty sweet play for next turn. That'll give us the ability to also fill up our graveyard a little bit more for the Emeria the Sky Ruin and Emeria Shepherd, which is where I'd like to be. Oracle of Multani coming back into play. Oh, opponent catches another land and shows an Azor the Lawbringer on top. Rhystic Study coming back into play. So that's what I was talking about. Opponent's only got 1 mana left now. So mostly tapped out. We'll see what Damia does. Hopefully Damia taps out as well. They do have 7 cards in hand, and their deck incentivizes them to have less than 7 cards in hand, so they'll probably also be trying to lay down as many spells as they can. Nissa Vastwood Seer coming down. Opponent pays for the Rhystic Study. Plays a land, gets the Nissa trigger. Nissa flips over into a Planeswalker. It's going to plus the Nissa, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. The revealed card was a Progenitor Mimic. Ooh. The opponent has a Progenitor Mimic in hand. They do have the mana for it. We're going to need a board wipe sooner or later. Austere Command would be pretty good. Also Ugin. Starting to get some nasty enchantments with Sylvan Library and Rhystic Study down. Teferi coming back in. That's why I didn't want to use the Angel of Serenity last turn. My plan this next turn is to get back the Angel of Serenity, and then exile the Teferi and the Oracle, and probably the other thing as well, but Zombie Infestation coming back down. Just like I was expecting, the Damia opponent taps out all their mana, which is good news for us. Letting opponent know that I'll let them keep the woodland if they don't attack me with it. Opponent's going to Kodama's Reach. Opponent's going to use their Karn ability, reveal the top 2 cards of the library, going to use the plus again. Has a land in exile. And that's a Terastodon. Let's see what they hit. Is it non-creature permanents? Non-creature permanents. Oh, please not our Emeria. Actually, well, we have the Crucible. Yep, opponent's going to hit our Emeria. That's really annoying. So we're going to make them pay the price. We still have our Emeria Shepherd and the Plains available to us. We're going to swing in for 8 at the partnered opponent. Sounds good. So they go down to 24. Oh, yeah. Opponent choose our Plains for the... Well, I guess because it'll take it a little bit longer to... No, we still have 7 Plains down. So let's lay down the Emeria Shepherd. What is the rest of our turn going to entail? We can play a Plains, get back the Angel. I do want to get the card draw going. I'm going to pay for the Rhystic Study. Opponent's been drawing a lot. So we will crack the Myriad Landscape, get 2 more Plains, get 2 triggers, start with the Angel of Serenity, turn it to the battlefield. We only got 1 trigger off of our Angel of Serenity. That's not right. Anyway, shoot the Terastodon, shoot the Teferi, and shoot the Oracle of Multani. So we'll play a Plains right here. We'll get back the Expedition map, bring it to the battlefield, play the Steel Shaper's Gift. Oh man, I forgot the Brave the Sands this turn. Well, don't have the mana for the Rhystic Study. We're going to get the Mask of Memory because card draw is always good. And I would like to see more cards than what we have currently. And we will swing into the partnered opponent. Actually, there's a Karn out there. Yeah, we'll swing into the partnered opponent. They make me nervous. We go up to 38. Partnered opponent goes down to 15. And they're actually in some danger of just like dying to random things on the board. They're going to need a big play before our next turn cycle because we have lethal on them. But they have 13 cards in hand with the Sylvan Library. Assumingly they have something in that many cards. There's an Azusa. Yeah, opponent definitely on the big mana plan. Big mana decks make me nervous. They're kind of annoying too because it's so hard to interact with the fact that they just keep slamming tons and tons of lands. If you're a blue deck, you probably have a counter for the big thing that they try to do. But even still, just having a lot of lands can be really... Ooh, Seedborn Muse. Yeah, that's Bad news. Come on, Damia, where's the removal at? Little help here. So opponent gonna make a zombie with the zombie infestation. Opponent just discarded a duplicate. Could have used that against the Seedborn. Opponent's gonna swing in with everything they got at the partnered opponent, and rightfully so. Bet they use this Alchemist Refuge and drop down something huge and awful. Nope, not yet. So partnered opponent goes down to 8. And there's a Toxic Deluge X1. That unfortunately that'll kill the Azusa, won't kill the Seedborn Muse. I may have gone a little higher on that. Opponent misplayed right there. Yeah, that was a mistake. Progenitor Mimic coming down. Let's see what this copies. This big thing would be pretty funny. Getting big attack. Angel of Serenity would be a big problem, actually. Yep, copies the Angel of Serenity. Let's see what they go after. Gonna get duplicate out of their graveyard, and the Seedborn Muse. Oh, yeah, Seedborn Muse, very important. Take that down right here. And they're gonna get the Nissa back out of their graveyard. Opponent's tapping some lands. Let's see what they got. They give creatures they control flash. Trigon Predator coming down. Interesting. Looks like opponent's just trying to get value out. That does give them a flying blocker, which means that they could potentially survive for a bit. Oh, they're going to crush a Surge of Tentacles? All non-land permanents to their owner's hand. Oh my god. Oh, I kind of wish we went for the Lightning Greaves, honestly. So opponent's going to get back the duplicate, which is good. Which means it can kill anything that that needs to be killed. Now what this will do is we can discard down to hand size and then go crazy with our Amaria Shepherd. Nissa's Pilgrimage. There's a Terastodon coming back to play. Let's see what it hits. Hope it doesn't hit our Mistveil Plains. Opponent goes after the Mistveil Plains. So annoying. There's a Gisela. We have 13 cards in hand. We definitely want to discard to hand size and go crazy with the... start with the Thran Dynamo. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah. I forgot we had Crucible of Worlds in our hand. So, Crucible of Worlds definitely coming back to play. I forgot about it because we didn't have anything in our graveyard worth recasting the Crucible to get Amaria back for, so I didn't think of it last turn. But now that we're going to discard a bunch of things, it's going to make sense for us to do that again. We'll cast the Gisela. Gisela will give us a nice blocker and some lifelink. Recast our Amaria. Yeah, we're going to hang back on defense since there's a Terastodon out. And then we'll get down to the discarding. Do we discard Lyra? I don't know. I think we'll hang on to Lyra. We'll discard Avacyn. I guess we discard Lyra. So send Lyra to the graveyard. Opponent's going to send the 8/8 into us, and going to send the Trigon Predator into the Damia opponent. I think we'll just take the 8/8. We've got a lot of lifelink in this deck, so I think we can afford to take a hit for 8. It's the really big attack that I want to watch out for, so that's why I'm going to keep this token around. And Seedborn Muse coming back to play. Ugh. Oracle of Moldiah coming back to play. Oh my god. And showing a Nezelhal on top of their deck. Wow. Gonna play a Mystic Remora. Teferi coming back to play. This deck needs a high market. If we had a high market out, then we could sacrifice our Angel of Serenity before opponent can Progenitor Mimic it. Although opponent can Progenitor Mimic at the Terastodon, which is also scary. Ooh, opponent's gonna Mystic Snake the Teferi. This could be good. Let's see if opponents get into like a counterspell battle or something. More importantly, I just want opponents to not cast their Progenitor Mimic this turn, or cast their Progenitor Mimic using on the Terastodon and blow up a bunch of the partnered opponent's stuff. Heuristic Study coming back to play. Ooh, that's a Damnation. Nice. More importantly, it's not the Progenitor Mimic blowing up all of our stuff. Oh, that is sweet. Yeah, I kind of wish I went for the Lightning Greaves when we tutored for the Mask of Memory. Opponent's going to pay for the Heuristic Study. So, Damnation blowing up the board. Very nice. Wall of Blossoms coming back down. Opponent's going to pay for the Heuristic Study. Nice. So, Damia had a nice turn of really taking the partnered opponent down a peg. That board wipe was huge. Getting rid of the Seedborn Muse and everything was huge play. Still got a Mystic Remora and a Heuristic Study in play. Opponent's going to use their Haunted Fengraf. Haven't seen their commander yet. They've had a lot of chances to do so. Oh, Terastodon coming back to play. Are you kidding me? See what he goes after. Goes after the Crucible of Worlds, Mystic Remora, and the Heuristic Study. We can get our Crucible of Worlds back. I'm not so worried about it. If I find a Swords of Plowshares, I'm definitely using it on this Terastodon. This Terastodon has been a huge problem. We've lost so many lands to that thing. Alright, finally getting an Amaria trigger. I don't actually know if we need the Angel of Serenity right here. There's a Progenitor Mimic in our opponent's hand. Then they just bounce our Angel of Serenity and do a bunch of weird stuff. I think we're just going to go with Lyra Dawnbringer right here. Get our commander back into play. Just to make sure that if anything happens, we have access to our commander later in the game. None of the other options are really jumping off the page at me at this exact second. Especially knowing that there's a Progenitor Mimic and the way that things have been getting bounced and whatever in this game. Terastodon seems safest in play, but I don't know. We need to figure something out here. Let's get this Cage Sun down. Should open up some more mana for us. Choosing white. So now we've got some mana to work with. Cast our Amaria Shepherd. Actually, you know what? Gonna play the Marsh Flats. I'll use that trigger to get Crucible of Worlds back into our hand, just to make sure nothing goes wrong. Return it to our hand. We're gonna crack the Marsh Flats. So we'll get a Plains. I've decided that I do want to get the Angel of Serenity back right here, so I can remove a blocker and then use this Mask of Memory. Get the Angel of Serenity. Bring it to the battlefield. And I guess we'll grab the Terastodon like we've been doing since opponent's been hitting us with it really hard. Use the ability. Play the Mask of Memory. Equip the Mask of Memory onto our elephant. Play this Duelist Heritage. Then play the Expedition map. Then go to combat. Swing into the partnered opponent. Give double strike to our elephant. Mask of Memory is going to trigger. We draw Plains and a Scroll Rack. Ooh. With the Amaria Shepherd out, the Plains is pretty good. We'll discard the Archangel of Tides, actually. And another Mask of Memory trigger. Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, and a Plains. We'll discard this Plains, since we can only play one a turn. So finally getting a little bit of card draw going. The Scroll Rack will give us some more digging power, which I like. And that will complete our turn. Pass the turn. So the partnered opponent's down to 2. And we've all been getting hit hard with that Terastodon all game. But we've been able to rebuild decently well. Ooh, Survival of the Fittest. Opponent's going to use Survival. Oh, gets the Bounce Leviathan. Are you kidding me? Oh, the bounce. So much bounce. Gilded Lotus coming back to play. Panharmonicon coming into play. Rise of the Dark Realms, you say. Uh-oh. Oh, that's so many triggers. Well, now things are tricky because... Oh, we can't cast spells? Ooh. I hope that Azor ability doesn't stack for 2 turns. During that player's next turn, I hope that's not a stacking thing. Uh-oh. Leviathan just got exiled. Oh my god. The Damia opponent has so much stuff. They have a Cyclonic Rift and something else nasty I just saw. And the Leviathan that would have saved us from all that just got exiled. Phyrexian Delver. Well, probably won't get too much value out of that. At least that I can see. There's Terastodon coming back to play. Let's see how this goes. Opponent's going to flash in an Acidic Slime. Was that with the Teferi, I'm guessing? Going to blow up our Amaria again. Opponent's going to Progenitor Mimic on something. Grave Titan. And this is the problem with the Seedborn Muse, especially Seedborn Muse Teferi. Opponent can just do this all game. So our Amaria the Sky Rune has gotten blown up once again. So back to our turn, we get Quicksilver Amulet. Not what I was hoping for. What are our options right here? Our options are... I kind of want to just Scroll Rack for a bunch because none of these things really solve our problems. Angel of Dire Hour actually won't fix us either. We really just needed, like, Ugin. Oh, you want to know what we have? We have Homeward Path. Ha! Alright. Play this Expedition map. Just need to get through Counter Magic. Get this Homeward Path. Play the Homeward Path. Use the Homeward Path. Opponent's gonna Phyrexian Delver. Getting back their Nissa. So, nice. We get our Avacyn, Gisela, and Archangel of Tides back. That is a good news. Midnight Cowboy is a Strip Mine on top of their deck. Oh, that's going to be annoying. We'll play the Thran Dynamo right here. And then we'll cast Lyra, actually. I was thinking about one of the mana doublers, but I kind of just want to get board presence going. I like the idea of having Lyra available as an attacker next turn, especially since we can Duelist Heritage and get some double strike going on things. We're going to discard the Angel of Serenity, discard the Quicksilver Amulet, since we don't need it immediately. Discard the Brave the Sands, just because, we can get it back. One card to go. I guess the Scroll Rack, since I don't think Scroll Rack's going to do a ton at this exact second. I mean, we can dig through our library, but I like the stuff that we have, so it's not like we need to dig for more things at this exact second. We just need to not get our stuff bounced every single turn. Whelming Wave on top. Return all creatures to their owner's hand except for Krakens, Leviathans, and... please don't cast that. Survival of the Fittest coming back to play. Opponent's going to Survival. Let's find out what nastiness is coming next. Silklash Spider. You kidding me? Oh, the Seedborn Muse is back in play. Oh my god. Exile. We need exile so badly. Where is our Ugin? Rift Sweeper. Let me guess. Getting the Leviathan back? Note that the Azor ability does not stack for multiple turns. It was listed under the effects category, but it is now not listed there, so no matter how many times that trigger goes off, it only works for one turn. Ooh, Tormod's Crypt. That's bad news. Strip Mine into play. And opponent becomes the Monarch. So they will get to draw their Tormod's Crypt. Opponent's going to create a copy of the Acidic Slime. Going to blow up our Homeward Path. Ugh. We've lost so many lands this game. It's ridiculous. Opponent's going to send everything. Sending it all at the partnered opponent. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Let me guess. Cyclonic Rift or something else stupid? It's all that's been happening all game. So opponent's going to try and block. Pretty sure lethal is still getting through. Yeah, that one's unblocked. Let's see what they got. They have a survival of the fittest, so, well, they would need flash. Actually, Teferi's out, so. Oh, they finally go down. Opponent just wiped the board. Yep. Opponent just played a damnation, wiped the board. Oh, and hey, the Rise of the Dark Realms is back. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Although we can still just Crucible of Worlds Homeward Path, and that's probably what we'll do. So opponent's gonna take down a bunch of our lands. That's not amazing. Wow, gonna take down more of our stuff. Oh, that's bad. We have 3 lands left. Kidding me. Well, we have just enough to get our Crucible of Worlds down. Zombie Infestation coming back. Lightning Greaves for our opponent. They could put it on the Grave Titan, that'd be pretty annoying. At least that Seedborn Muse is finally gone. That thing was ridiculous. They put it on the Teferi. Sakura Tribelder for the green opponent. Karn coming back into play. Opponent's going to plus with Karn. We'll give him the Genesis Hydra. Woodborn Behemoth coming back to play. Still an 8/8. Back toward... Oh my god, that's an austere command. Well, we don't have enough mana to cast it, so the only thing we can do is Crucible of Worlds. Play our Homeward Path. Use the Homeward Path. We get a bunch of things back. What does opponent have for blockers? They still have Teferi. That can block, that can block, that can block. Yeah, our 3/3s aren't really going to get through. That's unfortunate. If we can get our Nykthos down next turn, we can actually generate a decent amount of mana. Opponent's going to get a copy of their Terrastodon. Ugh. Bet this gets our Crucible of Worlds. Yep, Crucible of Worlds. Wow. Yeah, Terrastodon is now on my list of most annoying cards. Terrastodon in a bug-style deck is just ridiculous. And there's a Cyclonic Rift, so... I think it's scoop time, because there's no way we can climb back into this game before opponent just draws a million more cards and does everything. This game's been going on forever because of all the bouncing. Ugh, so this game, these stats say it all. We had 14 of our lands destroyed, 21 total permanents destroyed by Terrastodon. We survived through 4 mass bounce spells. Well, technically 3. And opponent drew 13 cards with Elvish Visionary and Wall of Blossoms. So first thing, with that Terrastodon, opponent should have been hitting other permanents beside our lands. Our lands were not the most imposing thing on the battlefield. Yes, Emeria is a little bit scary if they want to shoot that, but a few times they went after our planes as well. And that just seemed really questionable, especially when there was a Rhystic Study on board. And then we let the Sultai opponent get so many lands that they couldn't be stopped later in the game. Even if they had lost a couple lands along the way, it would have been a very different game. Now, imagine if we hadn't lost any lands. We had lost 6 lands up to the point before they really blew up all of our things with the double Terrastodon. We would have been around like 14 lands or something like that. Plus there was a Thran Dynamo in there that got blown up. We would have had a lot of mana and we would have been able to do a lot of stuff with it. We kept getting bounced every single turn. So I've thought about this game a lot. It was a frustrating game. It went on for a very long time. It was about an hour and 40 minutes before editing. What I think this deck needs, I think it needs just a little bit more removal. I really want to put Descend Upon the Sinful in there, but because we are a Reanimator deck, we're also going to need things like High Market and Phyrexian Altar. That way we can sacrifice our creatures and they don't get blown away in the exile effects. Some exile right there would have done us a lot of good. Things like Ugin will really shut down graveyard decks effectively. Would have stopped a lot of the problems that we had late in that game. But I really wanted to get a win with Lyra Dawnbringer, but I thought that this was a pretty interesting game to show. And it always just felt like we were one turn away. If we could get through one turn cycle without the board being wiped, we would have been able to hit in for some pretty big damage and start impacting the game. But I think a lot of it, too, is just kind of where we sat in turn order. I believe that we were behind the partnered opponent and the Sultai opponent. It made it just a little bit slow on everything that we were doing. So that was pretty frustrating. But yeah, crazy game, kind of a frustrating game. I wish we didn't get so many lands blown up because we would have been able to do some really cool stuff with the cards that we had. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.